Coming up on City Spotlight, we are on location, this time in Tuscola. We'll talk with the Mayor of Tuscola, Dan Kleiss, and Brian Moody, Executive Director of the Tuscola Chamber and Economic Development, about new economic development in downtown Tuscola, and what changes will be happening at Ervin Park. Then, we'll sit down with the new Superintendent of Tuscola Schools, Gary Alexander, about his journey back to Tuscola and what goals he has for Tuscola schools. It's another on-location episode, and we're talking all things Tuscola, here on City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com. And welcome to another edition of City Spotlight. As you can see, we are on location for another episode, our last new episode here on City Spotlight. We were in Decatur. We've traveled east on Route 36 for our next new episode, and we are in Tuscola. And in this first segment, we welcome back two familiar guests to the program. We have the Mayor of Tuscola, Dan Kleiss. Dan, welcome back to the program.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me again.
No problem. And Brian Moody, he's the Executive Director of the Tuscola Chamber and Economic Development. Brian, great to see you again.
Good to be with you. Thanks for having us.
As I like to say, the first time I go on location with folks, glad to be on your turf this time. We're in the basement of City Hall here in downtown Tuscola, and we're going to start things right off talking about economic development, where we started last time with you guys, last September when we taped with these two gentlemen. And we're going to start going west to east like we did last time. I think that worked out pretty well. And we're going to start in the very busy downtown. As Brian said, last time you guys were on, things were filling up. And I think the words that you guys used now that we're taping here in July, it's pretty full.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's really coming on. We're really kind of excited about it. I can't remember if we touched on the one that's been in the makings is Irma Lou's Kitchen and Cast Iron Pub, and it's a local guy coming back after going out to New York, Chicago, and San Francisco to get his culinary skills down, and he decided to come back to his hometown Tuscola and open up this business. We're hopeful that in a couple of months that the Cast Iron Pub will be open. Kenny Hogue Jr. is opening that up, and we're looking very excited for that to come about. And I know Brian's worked with some other businesses downtown. I'll let him talk about some of the boutiques that we.
And Irma Lou's, that's going to be next to.
Yep, it's real next to. I guess it's on Sale Street next to. Trying to think here now which one is
Sale Street Boutique.
Sale Street Boutique. Yep.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Right there. Yeah, where the old Save More Pharmacy used to be before it moved out to Route 36 area.
Very good. Give that location so folks know where to find it. Very good. Okay, so from Irma Lou's, and I'm going in whatever order I have marked down here. Sweet Souls. Tell us about Sweet Soul.
So Sweet Soul, two friends that decided there weren't enough women's clothing options, and I think they kind of felt like their friends always thought they were the trendy folks that where did you get that type of thing, and so they started up a shop. It actually was my parents' business at one time was in that building for many years, so it was kind of a neat thing for me to see that happen, and they went in and did a nice renovation, been open for a few months and have done real well. Like I said, it's really geared towards the ladies, a women's boutique, but they do a lot of kind of unique promotions. Have some tasting nights. I have a wine tasting coming in and trying some outfits, that kind of thing. So really neat shop.
Yeah, it's been open a few months now. Location of Sweet Souls is
101 North Main, right on the corner of downtown.
All right, not very far from here. Next on the list, also Sale Street location. I kind of drove through town before we started taping today to get acclimated with things. Downtown Designs?
Yep, absolutely. So this was a business that used to be located across the street. Posies and Patty Cakes was the name of the business, and they were in part of the Joe's Pizza complex, I guess you could say, and had this building open across the street. Used to be a Floyd's Barbershop, and they went into a nice renovation and really a nice local business. They do a lot of craft events, so groups can come in and rent the facility out, and they'll do some kind of arts and crafts project for the evening, and then they do a lot of custom printing, screen printing, embroidery, all those kind of things for different organizations in town.
Especially with the school's colors and the school things going on. They do that quite well, and that's really kind of exciting because they started in a small part there with Joe's Pizza, and we're able to now expand it to a bigger building, and so that's really a nice plug for economic development as you see that growth, and they do a real good job of promoting not only their business but also the community of Tuscola.
And it was a name change too.
And changed the name in the middle of it. Yeah, decided downtown
new
design.
and new.
Was
There
it?
you go.
Yep, absolutely.
Next on the list, we have a location change for Patterson and Parsons Dental.
Yeah, so one of the more exciting things in the downtown is to have a new building going up. So, we really focused a lot on renovation in the downtown. We've had a lot of great projects, but this is kind of a whole different thing when we get to go see a new building go up. So, but Patterson's and Parsons, the dental office is pretty well into construction at this point. I don't know the exact timeline, but I want to say maybe 2 to 3 months probably to finish that up. And located right off the corner of Main and North Central in town. And like I said, it's pretty neat to see a new building going up.
Okay. Yeah. Scooted away just a little bit from downtown, but on Sales Street, I think it's next to Winterberry, the title company.
So Allied Capital Title also moved into downtown in the past couple months. Again, did a fairly significant renovation to their building. It's a beautiful office and a pretty active office. So they're pretty active in social media. They are regularly posting out pictures of new real estate closings and are pretty busy.
Yeah. Okay, the last one that I have kind of here for this downtown economic development area. Not going anywhere anytime soon. You have some news on the Vault.
So the Vault re-signed a lease here just in the past 2 months, and seems to be doing quite well. Like I said, it's been nice to see that group that's come together to kind of keep it going the past few years.
Yeah. So it's good to see that continue, and they got a cooperative, I think, going now with it. So that's really nice.
Excellent. And not to sound like a broken record and kind of have to put a bow on a certain area, but again, downtown area. You guys are both Tuscola natives. To see where this is now. Again, a year later, you were excited about how full it was, and a year later, it's even fuller. So you got to be thrilled about what's going on downtown. It's
kind of it's getting back, I guess, to when I'm a little bit older than Brian, so I go back and I remember the bustling days of downtown before the interstates, and you're kind of seeing that. It's a little bit different mix. It's a little more specialized and than days gone by, but it's all the more is still building and growing entrepreneurship as well because of the gals that are opening up these boutiques. So that's good to see.
Okay. They tend to be startup businesses, they're not the big box stores, but it's like I said, it's really nice to see. I, as the mayor said, I don't remember the traffic in the evenings in downtown, and that's been a big change. We're regular Friday, Saturday night to one of the restaurants downtown, so we like to sit out at Joe's Pizza pretty regularly, and like I said, it's a whole different feel on a Friday or Saturday night to have all that traffic downtown that we haven't had for years.
Like I said last time we taped in last September, again to sound like a broken record, nice to see nice and busy on Sales Street.
Yep.
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
All right, let's jump from the downtown area, unless there's something between the downtown area and the interstate. But before we talk about new interchange, the Shopko building closed May 5th. So where are things going forward?
Yeah, so I think a lot of people are aware because it impacted a lot of communities in Illinois, but Shopko has closed all their stores nationally. The good news is that we have a new property manager, the new company that's representing the building, and we've had a lot of interest in the building. So one of the things I know, Ramin, we've talked about in the past is not always having a lot of ideal commercial space. So this is a pretty unique space that we don't have a lot of, and I've been real pleased that there's been as much interest as there has been. So hopefully a few more months down the road here, we'll have something viable there.
Yeah. Next time we talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just to the east there, between the Road Ranger gas station and I-57, you guys touched upon this a little bit at the end of our last conversation last September. A new interchange, which will feature a Love's truck stop. So fill us in on what's going on there.
So the Love's Travel Center, we've probably been working with them for probably a good year now, maybe. And so they have acquired the property, so it is in the Davis family, I guess I would say. And so they have it, and the engineering is ongoing for the intersection as well as the Love's Travel Center as well. So we expect probably pretty heavy construction, I would say, in a couple months in that area as well.
So as Brian and I were talking before we started taping here, when you come off the southbound exit there, and there's just that light there, so you're forced to go left and right. Now you'll be able to go through.
Exactly right.
Not too long.
Exactly
in the
right.
future.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That it takes there's about a 42-acre area right there.
Okay.
So that intersection will open up all that area for development. Ties it back into some other area roads. Will be a nice area for us to promote going forward.
Some more wheels pulling in there, right there off the interstate.
Right.
Very good. Moving on from economic development, kind of a new thing that's not just a Tuscola thing right now. It's in Coles and Douglas County. Tell us about the zip line.
Yeah, go ahead.
We worked the past few years. The county's worked with Dial Ride, which is out of Coles County and manages our rural transport system. And they've been looking at ways to increase ridership. And so one of the things that they're trying now is the zip line. And so it's really more of a traditional bus route than what we think of. A lot of folks, rural transit has always been kind of a more appointment based, and this is going more back to what we think of a traditional bus system. So they have about 10 spots in town, and I know they start in Arcola as they come up, and they run those stops regularly throughout the day. So you can jump on one spot and jump off another and get back on later.
Yeah.
Another way to get around.
Yeah.
It's great to see those in the smaller communities.
Yep.
All right, let's before we talk about public works here, over there off of Nile, and we have the North Ward lot. It's going to see maybe some homes down the road.
Yep, that's a recent development. It's where the old Northward School used to be,
right?
And so henceforth it's Northward Square is what they're billing as the development as, and we're looking at about 14 to 16 homes. We actually have a contract with some local developers that want to do that and develop homes, and it's going to be kind of a homes that will. You'll enter the current existing roadways, and all the interior will be a commons area. So it's going to be kind of nice. So you have kind of a, if you will, their own little park system on their property there. So, and it'll be geared for nicer homes probably, and the empty nesters more than anything, more than likely. And so it's probably about $1 million. Development project, because when you take in the infrastructure, actually probably more than that by the time all the 14 homes are built, probably close to $2 million that'll be invested in that area there. So that'll be nice to see that finally get done.
It's a big rectangle shaped piece of land.
Yep.
So look forward to seeing how that grows. So one thing that we didn't have enough time to talk about last time, but we got to it this time. Let's talk a little bit about Ervin Park and your swimming pool area. And I know there's been some improvements there with some of the ball diamonds up there at Ervin Park.
Yep, we're currently, so Ervin Park was a donation from the Ervin family many years ago. And the swimming pool was built, I believe, in 1958. And we've done a couple of improvements, major improvements. The last one was about 10 years ago, to the tune of about $300,000 in the pool area there. So, for a small community, it's there's not a lot of them that have their local public swimming pools. So we've been able to keep it up, and we believe that's an economic development tool as well. So if you have a nice park system, people like coming into that. And that's why we're also now, we just received an OSLAD grant for open space from the state of Illinois. So we're going to be spending about $328,000 there for all brand new ball diamond lights, brand new resurfacing of all the basketball, tennis courts, and we're throwing in a pickleball court on one of the tennis courts. So it'll be a dual purpose there. And pickleball is apparently up and coming, or been around a while, but now getting out into more and more circles of ages, I guess I would say, enjoying that. And so that should be, that's in the engineering phase as well, and should be getting close to letting bids for that, and hopefully we can get it done before next spring.
It's a very tall park. If folks have not been to Tuscola in the northwestern portion of town, and host a lot of events there.
Yeah, we're very blessed. We're very fortunate, as the mayor mentioned, that the Ervin family thought about that, and he's right, probably over 100 years ago. And we constantly are complimented about our parks. Just we're probably the top thing we receive comments on. So city's done a great job of continuing to reinvest in it over the years, not letting it just sit there. And again, just really fortunate.
And when you come into Tuscola, and this is kind of maybe going out of order here as we get near our end of our conversation, gentlemen, as you come into Tuscola off the interstate on Route 36, you have a new welcome sign.
Oh, yeah. So our other one got, as we like to say, with the wind coming at it, got a little tired and decided to take a nap, so we had to replace that one. And it's really nice. It's a nice, open, colorful sign coming into the community. And so we actually may put something up like that around the City Hall here. So I got a little pressure on putting one down here at City Hall.
So some
it's
brick around it.
Change some other.
Yeah. So it's really, really nice. And we hope people view Tuscola as just that, a very nice and beautiful place, just like the sign.
It's been up just a couple of weeks here as we tape on July 12th. As we wrap up here, gentlemen, in our next segment, we're going to talk with the brand new superintendent of Tuscola Schools, Gary Alexander. He's only been on the job 11 days. Give us a little preview. Tell us, you guys know who Gary is. Tell us about Gary.
So I know Gary. He's, again, younger than me, but I remember him growing up in Tuscola, actually. So he grew up here. And played sports, all those kind of things, and went off and got his education and got his feet wet on some other school districts. But we're excited for him coming back. Actually, his stepfather works here for the city of Tuscola, Denny Cruzan, been here 40 plus years. And so I'm sure Gary and his family is looking forward to coming back to Tuscola.
He has family here, from what I understand, and maybe he'll be here for the long haul. So we look forward to talking with him in the next segment. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure catching up on Tuscola here in the summer of 2019. The mayor of Tuscola, Dan Kleiss, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And Brian Moody, executive director of the Tuscola Chamber and Economic Development. Brian, pleasure as always.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much. And coming up next here on our next segment here on City Spotlight on Tuscola, we're going to talk with the new superintendent of Tuscola Schools, Gary Alexander. But first, let's take a look at some of the upcoming activities going on in Tuscola. And we're back here on City Spotlight, this on-location episode on Tuscola. As you can see, we've changed locations from City Hall. We are now taping inside East Prairie Middle School, and we're going to talk Tuscola Schools here in this segment with the new superintendent of Tuscola Schools, Gary Alexander. Gary, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure, and we're taping here on July 12th. Gary started his first day officially as superintendent on July 1st. So,
correct.
Congratulations. We'll talk a little bit about coming into this position and moving forward, but you're a first-time guest to the program. Can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself, please?
I'm a 1989 graduate of Tuscola School System. I am married. I have 4 children, three boys and a daughter. My oldest my 3 boys are out of school system, and my daughter will be attending 8th grade. Okay. And much of my family still lives in the Tuscola area.
All right, very good. Could you tell our audience where you kind of have been educational-wise coming back to Tuscola?
Sure. I started my career in Abingdon, Illinois, as a junior high teacher, and then I spent the next 14 years, I was at Abingdon for 4 years, and then I was in 14 years in the Arthur School District, where I taught for 5. I was a grade school principal for 6 and junior high school principal for 3. And then I moved to Pawnee, Illinois, and I've been the superintendent in Pawnee for the last 7 years.
Okay, and you have made your way back to Tuscola.
Yes.
You're not originally from Tuscola,
no.
But what made you want to pursue this position? Obviously, didn't hurt that you experienced going to school here.
Correct.
But why Tuscola, Illinois?
You know, Tuscola is a great community, one that supports the school system, and the school system really gave me a great education, and I felt like it was a great opportunity for me to come back and be a part of the system that has been so successful. And you know, I would be remiss if I didn't also mention that my wife and I both have family in the area, and so that played a big part in it. But you know, the community and the school system is just been a wonderful impact on my life, and so I thought it was a great opportunity for me to be a part of it and impact other kids' life.
And
obviously the familiarity and being in a place that you've already been and experienced being a student here, what else made you want to look at this position as your next step in your educational career?
Well, I think that, with Tuscola, in the area, I believe Tuscola is known as a good educational school. And it's going to give an opportunity for my daughter to experience have a good education, as well as all the kids in Tuscola. And I just felt like I wanted to be part of something special, and I believe Tuscola is a special place.
So you've been on the job 11 days. Folks are seeing this at home in the latter part of July, but you've been on the job about 11 days as we're taping here. What transition challenges do you have here? What are your expectations as you go into this first school year here in Tuscola for you?
Well, the first thing I want to do is just get familiar with all the people, the people within all three of the school buildings. And probably the biggest thing I'm going to do for the first 6 months is observe and listen. I think that's smart for me to do, come in and just understand what the direction that we're going and understand the direction that we need to go. Mike Smith, the past superintendent, did a great job of welcoming me, did a great job within the transition, and I appreciate everything he did. So it's been a smooth transition, but my big plans now are just let's get the school year started and let's do some observing and some listening.
Okay. We have just a handful of minutes left with you, so let's. We're just a couple of weeks away from school starting across all school districts across Illinois. When's the first day of school for the Tuscola School District? First
day for teachers is August 19th, and the reason that all of us are here is the students, and they come August 21st.
All right, very good. Saw a lot of boxes as I came in East Prairie here, so I imagine those are all things that will be used here in the upcoming school year.
And there'll be many more to come.
All right, very good. For those of us that, I'm familiar with the Tuscola area, having lived here a few years, but for those that are unfamiliar, tell us about the schools that you have in your school district.
Well, we have 3 schools in the school district. We have Northward, which is a pre-K through 4th building. East Prairie, where we are at, is a 5 through 8 building, and then you walk across the street, enter the big halls of Tuscola High School. So you end your career across the street on Prairie.
Yeah, that's pretty unique. Down the road in Arcola, they're all under one hat,
right.
And in Tuscola, you're all on the same street.
Yes, we are.
Except you do have a railroad to cross. If you go from the
yes, you do, and sometimes you can get caught by that railroad. So
yes, absolutely. As far as the facilities that you're stepping into, and I'm sure this is many questions long past that I should be asking you about, but as you observe the facilities, when you did go to school here, what buildings did you attend?
I attended East Prairie and Tuscola High School.
Okay, very good.
So yeah, it's kind of neat. East Prairie is known for its locker pit. And so, I was walking in and looking at the locker pit, and it kind of brought back some memories of when I went to school here. So it's kind of neat. I know that the board and Mike Smith have done a great job of getting the outside of the buildings, renovated, and now we're going to start looking to see what we can do on the inside.
Okay, I was just going to ask you. This is maybe our next taping with you down the road here, but facilities and maintaining the buildings that you have for educators and the students to use and grow with. Obviously, that's something that's definitely a part of being a superintendent. You got to look at the improving of your facilities.
You definitely have to know the brick and mortar, and you have to know the condition of them, because you need to provide your staff and your students with a safe learning environment. So yeah, and you want to be up to date with the times. A lot of school districts are going to STEM labs, and so I think down the road that's something that we're going to have to look at.
And that's something that, having been in a few other school districts here on City Spotlight, it's amazing what some of these school districts are bringing in as avenues for students to learn from and use moving forward to whatever their collegiate educational career may be. In our last minute or so with you, Gary, again, your familiarity with Tuscola obviously probably played a major part in you coming back here.
Definitely.
What can you say about being a part of this community again?
It's been interesting. I've been out of the community for several years, but going into different places, I see a lot of the same familiar faces. So Tuscola, I believe, is a community that people come and they stay, except you.
I did enjoy my 8 years or so here. Places you go and you travel and they take you to, and they obviously have brought you back to Tuscola. I know you just got started here 11 days ago, but do you have any like short-term goals that you would like to share with the audience about what you'd like to maybe achieve here in the first part of your tenure here?
You know, I think I just want people to know who I am and know that my door's open. So if they need to come and see me, please do. I think that I want to have the school district be, communicate with the community. And so I think having the open door policy is one way that we can do that. So I just want people to come in and know who I am. I think that's important as a leader of the school district, for people to, recognize my face.
Well, welcome back to Tuscola. Our first episode here on City Spotlight, talking Tuscola schools. Hopefully many more to come with Gary and teachers and students in the programs here. Gary Alexander, the new superintendent of Tuscola Schools. Appreciate your time here on City Spotlight.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. And that'll do it for our on-location episode here on Tuscola. We thank you for watching City Spotlight, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to City Spotlight. You can check out past episodes, including the one you're watching right now, on YouTube. To check out recent episodes of Central Illinois towns featured on City Spotlight, search on YouTube, City Spotlight, with the show number and the name of the town. Listed on your screen are the last 5 episodes of City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com.